because this is what makes our country great. The fact that the American people care about these things, they care about corruption and cronyism. It's important to them because they expect and want their leaders to avoid it.
You don't know this, but you said something, and I didn't interrupt you. I was tempted, but I didn't. Because I don't know if you ever saw the Groucho Marx show, but when the guest would say the magic word, the bird would come down with $100 bill. You said the magic word when you said that human nature, I don't remember the word you used, corrupt or whatever, fallen.
Fallen nature, the fallen nature of man.
Yes, the fallen nature, yes. This is the dividing line if you dig and dig and dig to find the difference between left and right, that is the dividing line. We know what human nature is like. They don't. Therefore, we fear, as you put it, the concentration of power among very, very troubled-natured human beings. Why would I trust people with human nature, with massive power? And that comes from, forgive me, just one more point, because you said another thing which brought another bird on the Groucho Marx show about you're a man of faith. So am I. And we are not the identical faith. However, we both have the same basis, which is this understanding of human nature that religious Jews and Christians understand and therefore have different politics. That's the whole point.
Yes, I agree. I mean, the Judeo-Christian tradition teaches us that we should not trust people with concentrated power. We know that sometimes in history you're at war. Maybe President Lincoln needs added powers to preserve the republic. But in general, you do not want to concentrate power. And it really, I have friends that are obviously on the political left. And, it doesn't make sense to me, the fact that in some senses they're distrustful of power for certain people. So, for example, I have friends that were very troubled, and I shared some of those concerns about the fact that, the National Security Agency and other entities were, engaged in surveillance in the United States. That was a big issue during the Bush administration, you remember. I talk to those individuals now who are in favor of a government takeover in healthcare, and I ask them seriously, you're worried about the government monitoring your communications, but you're not worried about the government having access to your entire medical history? And it's a paradox. I think that if you understand that concentrated power is something to be feared and to be concerned about, that leaders can be sacrificial at times, but they can also be enormously self-serving, you are suspicious of concentrations of power, and that, I think, is the bottom line for me when it comes to corruption. The ultimate remedy for corruption, you're not going to find corrupt-free people to lead us in every capacity. What you can do is make sure that we have a balance of power, a check of power, divided power in the sense of the branches of government, and don't allow our leaders to have concentrated power. And when you look at the political parties today, there's a huge divide on that question, whether government should be given more authority in our lives or less.
When they say Trump is a dictator, I wrote in my column, which comes out as it happens on Tuesdays. So my column is out today, and it's a list of left-wing lies in which the society is drowning. One is Trump is a dictator. And I point out it's almost inconceivable that a Republican or a conservative would be a dictator. Their whole platform is less government.
That's exactly right. I mean, look, if you wanted to be a dictator as president of the United States, first thing you'd want to do is have government take over of health care.
Yes.
Because then you could use the levers of government to punish your enemies and help your friends. The other thing you'd want to have is the mass confiscation of firearms. I mean, throughout history, whether it's Lenin, Stalin, Hitler, or Mao,
That's right.
You don't want individuals owning guns. I mean, so just from a policy level, the notion that Trump is somehow a dictator makes absolutely no sense.
I got to get to the latest revelations of the with regard to the Biden family, and of course the email server. So I'll keep you on if it's okay, if that's okay with you. I just want to remind everybody that Peter Schweizer's book, Profiles in Corruption, is compelling reading, and I read it. We'll do it. Maybe Kamala Harris another time. It's just, but before the break, I have one very quick question. What is the ratio of corruption on the left in politics to corruption on the right?
Hard question to answer. I would say it's probably 65-35, but it takes different forms.
Okay, all right. Back in a moment.